Okay, so positive law we know are laws because they have a positive law citation. The positive laws are administered in the district court, which is in accordance to the Constitution, right? So positive laws are in harmony with the Constitution and comply with the ideas of federalism. Okay? So these courts, the judges are required to have an oath to the Constitution or to the state constitution. And these are a couple important phrases that you have to know so that you know the difference between whether you're in a constitutional court of law or a contract court. So the judges have an oath and they're acting in accordance with their oath, so that's a giveaway. But they also uphold the law. And they uphold the law, they uphold the positive laws or the constitutional laws. Okay, so the court upholds the law, and the laws are laws once they have a positive law citation. And they hold court. Okay, so if the judge doesn't have an oath, you already know that he's not upholding the law and he's not holding court. He's administering business contracts. Okay, so when they are not law courts, they're business courts. There's no oath. Okay, so a lot of people have been finding out that when they go to district court, the court judges don't have oaths, and they couldn't figure out why. It's because they're not upholding the law and they're not holding court, they're doing business. Okay, so there's a difference between holding court, because courts uphold the law, and business courts doing business. So you have to know where you're at, and then you can find out which court you're in by looking at the laws that they're trying to use against you. They say that they're laws, or they say that they're titles or codes or whatever, but not all titles and codes are actual laws. Okay, some of them are just contracts for business purposes, which I explained the business purposes used by the legal state in the previous 2-3 videos. Okay, so you have to know what court you're in, and you can know what court you're in by whether or not they're using titles with positive law citations. And how do we know that? Okay, so there's a list. I'll give you an example. Title 26. How many people have they put in prison using Title 26? This is, they call it Internal Revenue Code. Internal Revenue Code. How many people have they put in prison because they owed taxes, or they didn't pay their taxes, or they didn't pay enough taxes, or they didn't do something with Title 26 and the IRS and the Internal Revenue Code and blah, blah, blah. They've put people in prison. They've put liens on their property, they've taken their retirement checks, they've taken their Social Security checks. Well, Title 26 has no positive law citation. It's not a law, okay? So it's a business contract. Okay? And a lot of the titles are business contracts, okay? So among them, I'll just list, I'll tell you what the title of the title is, but I'll write the number, and then when you go to the website that I gave you in the previous video, you can look them up for yourself. So titles, not positive. So titles that are not constitutional and don't comply with the ideas of federalism. Okay, so 2 is Congress. Go figure. Congress has no positive law. Okay. 6, domestic security. Okay. 7, agriculture. 8, aliens and nationality. 12, there's a big one, banks and banking. The Federal Reserve comes under this. It's not a law. Has no positive law citation, and this is right off the OLRC website. OLRC, just Google that. Office of the Law Revision Council. Just Google that. You'll find the list will pop right up. Next we have, oh, guess what? Title 15, Commerce. The right to regulate you on the roads, not a law. No positive law citation. 19, Customs and Duties. To declare all your things for taxes when you come back across the border. 20, education. Get your kids vaccinated or you can't come to school. Not a law. No positive law citation. 21, food and drugs. What is that, FDA? Food and Drug Administration, where they have to approve all the medicines before we can use them, like the COVID's medicines and that they say we can't use. Not a law. There's no positive law citation. 22, foreign relations and intercourse. Not a law. 24, hospitals and asylums. You know why? Because remember in the first or second video, I talked about the dependent states not having all the essential services they needed to take care of their military members, their officers, and their dependents. So they wanted to contract with the state to use their hospitals, their asylums, their schools, their fire departments, their police departments. And 24 is hospitals and asylums. It's because the dependent state is contracting with the independent state for these essential services by way of the business contracts. All the laws, all the titles not positive, the business contracts. Okay, so the feds are supposed to pay the independent state so the dependent state can use the independent state's essential services. So really the feds are supposed to be paying us to use our services, and here we are, Title 26, paying taxes. 26, Internal Revenue Code, not a law. 27, oh, here's a big one. Liquors, not a law. I'm gonna erase some of this. 29, labor, all the labor laws. We say they're labor laws, they're not laws. Okay, they're laws on federal lands maybe. They're laws between the federal government and the independent state. what was that, 29 labor. I'm just copying it. I'm just copying it right off their website. 30, mineral lands and mining. 33, navigation and navigable waters. They say you have to get a license to run certain boats in the intercoastal waterways and such, and it's not a law. This was the business contract between the feds and the independent state to run the dependent states, so the dependent states can have essential services. The 33 is part of that. Let's go down. We're looking for the ones without an asterisk. Oh, guess what? 42, I'm going to write this one out. The public health and welfare. Is a business contract, not a law, has no positive law citation. It's right there on the OLRC website. You can see me, I'm on it a little bit right here, you can see it. I'm just going down the list. Public lands, 43. Public lands, people saying that they have to have a some document issued by the federal government so they can really own their lands. 43, not a law. 45 is railroads, not a law. 47, telecommunications, not a law. 48, territories and insular possessions. Doesn't comply with the Constitution or the ideas of federalism. It has no positive law citation. Not a law. 50, war and national defense with an S. I talked about that earlier. It means vengeance. Origins. Latin, as opposed to defense, origins, Old French, fortification, to fortify, build your walls, and that's what our defense was supposed to do. 50, defense. I mean, that's in the Constitution, except for they spelled it different. So it can't comply with federalism or the Constitution because they're using defense with an S and it has no positive law citation. You would think of all things, considering what the Constitution is, that defense would be a positive law. It's not. That's Title 50. 52. Voting in elections. 53 is reserved. There's nothing for 53, it's reserved. Okay. So, voting left to the states to figure out what they want to do, how they want to do it. Okay? So there you have it. These are not federal laws. Titles are not positive. They're not federal laws. They're contracts between the independent state and the federal government for service provided to the dependent state. The essential services provided to the dependent state, which includes hospitals, asylums, schools, fire departments, police departments. Okay, because the contracts were contracts for services, not contracts for constitutional laws. Okay, and then you can also look up on this website, OLRC, has a lot of options here. One, you can search and browse by word. You can do a word search. So just, you can look up positive law citation. And they also have positive law codification on their website where you can read pages of information on what they say positive law is. However, I found over the years they've changed it a few times and they're always confusing to me. So I've looked to some books and videos. The videos I like are by Andrew Napolitano, but I also like to read a variety of opinions on what a positive law is. So there you have it. Positive laws are not laws. They're the legal contracts